Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll give it a minute, let everybody file in. Okay, let's go ahead and get started really briefly. So, Happy New Year, everyone. Glad to see everyone. Hope everybody had a great New Year's with friends and family. The team took a little bit of time off here and there, a day off here or there, depending on what part of the world the team fell in. People, I think, for the most part, are kind of happy and healthy after kind of a whirlwind last month or so. So today's dev update, I'm going to keep kind of brief. Team continues to do uMoon development. There have been progress made over the break during, for the iOS builds and the Android builds as well. We're looking to onboard one or two more devs for the kind of the L1 team, essentially. There's been a couple pilots that we've concluded around some smart contract development. It looks like the architectural approach right now is going to be essentially taking I mentioned this in one of the previous dev updates, because most blockchains, especially these kind of permissionless kind of open source blockchains, tend to be deterministic. So we can't, once you start a contract execution, you already know what's going to happen at the end, right? There's finality baked into the gas costs, etc. So likely what we're going to do is, before the contracts are called, there's going to be kind of an Oracle construct that we create that's going to talk to the data science, the ML pipeline, a couple of other services as well that are part of the L1, kind of adjacent to it. And then when a contract's called from uMoon, for example, we'll likely feed as input to the contract call the outputs of those other oracles. And originally we were kind of investigating pausing contract execution and calling kind of orthogonally to oracles. What we don't want to do is we don't want to put needless data on chain. So where there's an opportunity to put summary data essentially on chain for reference in smart contract execution in the future, we'll do so. But a lot of this is going to be real time. So that's just going to chew up block space, frankly. We do want the architecture to be as kind of transparent as possible. So, significant, if not all of the data, will be available on chain, but there may be some summary operations and mathematical operations that are done in the Oracle layer as well to get that computation on chain. So that's going fairly well. What else we've actually been able to, I don't know if this is going to work. No, it's not. It's the other window. Sorry, guys. I'm on the laptop today. So what I would like to show you guys, we'll see if we can get this to work here briefly. Yeah, it's not going to work. It won't cooperate. We'll post it in the chat. So the NFT Marketplace development started as well. I mentioned in previous dev updates, we were wondering if that would be in or out. Because of the activities in November, we decided to put it in. We've got the first commits running on the local dev machines for the NFT Marketplace. So being able to mint coins on Unimoon, et cetera. And we're using Solana testnets right now, and over the next week or so, we'll migrate to our testnet just to validate that. But we forked Metaplex, kind of rebranded for the project. And I want to make sure there's proper attribution to the Metaplex team and everything that we're leveraging from from the Solana ecosystem. It's a big deal for me. I want to give credit where credit's due, because the tooling, we wouldn't be able to move this quickly if we weren't leveraging a lot of other people's hard work. So, but we got those first commits. So I've seen, DevNet minting of NFTs essentially on Unimoon. So the Unimoon L1. So again, it's just a testnet single node validator, but that'll come later this month. We'll get onto the testnet, the actual cluster that's running Unimoon, the Unimoon network, Unimoon chain. Other things that we talked about over the past week are basically tokenomics. So Dale and I have started getting into the tokenomics models, and we're actually in the midst of developing some tokenomics models around the social activity coefficient. So if you look at the light paper, there's callouts there on when a user is using the mobile application, the social media app, when they're getting rewarded, right? When they're getting basically receiving tokens for certain activities, right? And we're looking to create kind of a macroeconomic model around that. So that conversation started about a week ago in a little more detail. Up until now, it's been high level, but we're getting to the point where in February, the back half of this month in February, we need to implement some of that stuff. So, we're putting some spreadsheets together, going to run some regression analysis on different models based on token consumption, based on usage. You look at the latest numbers we have, it looks like people use about 140-ish minutes of social media a day across all platforms, right? That could be Facebook, TikTok, Weibo, Snapchat, etc., right? I think one of the numbers we saw for TikTok specifically was 52 minutes. So that's pretty engaging, right? Short form microblogs, videos, etc. So we're looking to kind of reverse engineer essentially if somebody, and making some presumptions that if somebody is going to spend, let's say about an hour a day, right, on social media across all cohorts, right? Let's say the average human would, connected and, would spend that much to whether it's, interacting for entertainment or communicate with friends and family, et cetera. Let's, we're hovering in right around an hour there, right? 90 minutes ish. So basically starting there and working backwards and understanding, okay, based on the burn rate, based on the tokenomics model, if somebody's interacting and they say 20% of their time, they're watching a video for, on average 90 seconds or 2 minutes, then, and they're liking a smaller ratio of that, they're sharing a smaller ratio of those engagements, they're downloading a smaller ratio, et cetera. We're trying to reverse engineer and back into essentially the different activities that'll garner kind of token attribution in the platform. So, or token kind of, people to gain engagement, right? And understand the velocity of when the piece of media is going viral, et cetera, and give them, different rewards based on, identifying that early. We're trying to back in this model essentially and figure out, okay, if we're assuming everybody's spending about 60 to 90 minutes a day, what's the average burn rate, right? How quickly is the 2 quadrillion supply, for example, going to go through if we're modeling 4 quadrillion, we're modeling 1 quadrillion. And we're trying to figure that out, right? And one of the interesting conversations we had is, one of the goals of the project is to really highlight human creativity. So if people are going to get an amount of tokens, what are they going to be able to do with them? Can they redeem them for, other advertising on the platform? Right? What are what's the normal person going to want to do? Obviously, people want to go through a DEX and probably exchange to another currency. But the reality is, we want people's energy and engagement to. We want to create that positive feedback loop. So if people are able to get tokens and the tokens have some type of, value outside of the Unimoon ecosystem because advertisers have come in and decided they want to engage our cohorts and they've given it value, they've basically made markets for those tokens and been able to do kind of create, a spot price for what an engagement token for in the Unimoon ecosystem is worth to get a hold of a user or get an ad in front of a user. What's that worth to the actual user community, an individual user, right? Can they pay their mortgage with it? Can they buy groceries with it, right? Can they send their kids to a private school, et cetera, right? So we're trying to, we're starting to kind of open Pandora's box here on the macroeconomics a little bit, and it's fascinating, and it's pretty interesting. More details of that will come out over the next few months once the white paper actually gets drafted, and we get it out there. That all of these discussions that we're having and all of the different possibilities, even if we deem them as failures, as experiments, we'll have them documented in the white paper, things that we've analyzed. So that's great. But yeah, it was really exciting to get Metaplex running and kind of refactored for Unimoon. It's looking great. We've got test videos internally right now. We were able to do screen sharing with the NFT Marketplace team, the Unimoon Marketplace team, basically connecting Phantom Wallet, actually executing an NFT transaction, minting, etc. So things are coming along great. Happy New Year to everyone. We'll make sure you guys get a copy of this posted. If you have any questions, again, as always, hit up the community mods and they'll surface them to us. And I hope everybody has a great week.